Okay? Right.
Да, Frampton.
Welcome, everybody, for the press conference for what I think is the best card I've ever been able to promote. This is the deepest boxing card I've ever been involved with from top to bottom. It's excellent. Santa Cruz versus Frampton, the main event, Saturday night, July 30th, this Saturday night. On Showtime Championship Boxing, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The night will start with Showtime Extreme at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for 2 great fights, and then it'll be followed by 3 great fights on Showtime. Tickets for the live event, which is promoted by my company in association with Cyclone Promotions and presented by Premier Boxing Champions, start at $38. They can be purchased online by visiting Ticketmaster.com, BarclaysCenter.com, or at the Barclays Center box office. There are a lot of people responsible for putting this great event together. The first person I'd like to bring up is representing our sponsor, Corona. Mike McGrew, Vice President of Communications for Corona Extra, is going to make a special presentation.
All right, thanks, Lou. Good afternoon, everyone. As Lou mentioned, my name is Mike McGrew. I'm representing Corona Extra, and on behalf of the entire team at Corona, I want to thank you for joining us here today. I want to give a special thanks to our friends at PBC. We're proud to serve as presenting sponsor and official beer of the PBC series, and we're committed to doing our part to help usher in the next era of boxing here in the U.S. As part of our sponsorship, I'm excited to unveil our new limited edition, which you see up in front of you, limited edition Corona Extra PBC boxing bottles. These specially wrapped collectible bottles will be available for retail August through October of this year, in specially marked 18 packs of Corona Extra. Each set contains images, stats, and signatures from 6 current and former world boxing champions. Corona has been the #1 associated brand with the sport of boxing for many years. Our fans have a huge passion for the sport of boxing, and they love our special edition bottles. This year, as a tribute to our fans, we actually allowed them to cast votes via social media to select the boxers that will be featured. Right? So I'm excited to announce the following selections as voted by the fans. We've got welterweight champion Danny Garcia, middleweight champion Danielle Jacobs, former world champion in 3 divisions Abner Mares, welterweight champion Keith Thurman, heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, last but not least, featherweight champion, our friend here, Leo Santa Cruz. Leo, we are proud to welcome you into the Corona family. Once again, I think you've been on our bottles twice now, so congratulations on that. Leo! And with that, we would like to get a quick bottle. I want to present you with the first of our commemorative bottles. Get your photos. Thank you.
Let's go, Leo!
Thank you, Mike. Next gentleman I'd like to bring up is our host Saturday night. The Barclays Center has become one of the homes of great boxing. It is, in my mind, as great a venue as there is for the sport in the country right now, and it's the capital of boxing in New York. It's the regularity of its boxing program and of Brooklyn boxing. It is something that everyone at the Barclays Center has been committed to, and most of all, this gentleman, my friend Brett Yormark.
Thank you, Lou, and thank you those that are here today. As Lou said earlier, this is arguably the strongest card from top to bottom that we've had in Brooklyn since we've been hosting fights in September of 2012. Saturday night's fight will be a great follow-up to the incredible Thurman Porter matchup that we hosted last month. And we anticipate another great headline fight that could also contend for Fight of the Year. It's an honor to welcome Leo and Carl to Brooklyn. You are two of the sport's most exciting fighters, and we wish you the best on Saturday. Welcome to Brooklyn. I'd also like to recognize undefeated former two-division world champion Mikey Garcia and former world champion Ilya Rojas, both fighting for the first time in Brooklyn. Thank you, and welcome. It's been a while since these two veterans have stepped into the ring, and we are looking forward to an exciting fight on Saturday night. Saturday's card certainly has a Brooklyn flavor to it, and it begins with my dear friend Paulie Malignaggi of Bensonhurst, who will fight at Barclays Center for the 5th time. He's taking on Gabriel Bracero from Sunset Park in a battle of the borough with Brooklyn's World Championship belt on the line. So we're very excited about our big Brooklyn fight also on Saturday night. Another Brooklynite, Amanda Serrano of Bushwick. Let's give Amanda a big hand. She will defend her title in the first ever women's world title fight at Barclays Center. So Amanda, welcome to Brooklyn, or to the Barclays Center, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night. I want to thank PBC for their continued support of Barclays Center. I want to also thank, and I'm sure you'll hear from him momentarily, Steven Espinoza from Showtime. And finally, a big, big thank you to Lou and his entire team for bringing great fights to Brooklyn. We look forward to seeing everyone on Saturday night. Thank you.
This really is, in my mind, an extraordinary card. And when you look at the two Showtime Extreme fights, they're probably the best doubleheader ever on Showtime Extreme, in my view. And either one of them could be on another platform, a bigger platform, tremendously competitive and a big star power. And then you go on to 3 incredibly intriguing fights live on Showtime, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's really an extraordinary night of boxing, brought to you by a man who worked very hard to put this night together, the Executive Vice President of Showtime, the man who runs boxing for Showtime, Steven Espinoza.
Thanks, Lou. As boxing fans know, Showtime has been bringing its viewers the best, most competitive, and highest level boxing fights all year. We've been featuring the most talent-rich divisions, and this Saturday is no exception. In fact, Saturday's event will be the 9th boxing event that Showtime has hosted since April. That's 9 events, 11 world championship fights over just 15 weeks. And there's no other network that is making that kind of investment in this sport. As Lou and Brett have both accurately stated, this card is probably the highest quality card that I've been involved in. In fact, I think for the first time I think I can remember, a card features 3 fighters who are arguably the #1 fighter in their division. We have Leo Santa Cruz, who is the #1 fighter in the featherweight division. We have Carl Frampton, who's the #1 fighter in the junior featherweight division. And we have Amanda Serrano, who is the top female fighter in the featherweight division, one of the top 10 female fighters in the entire sport. This card really has something for everyone. The first women's title fight, as Brett pointed out, in the history of the Barclays Center. We have Showtime's own Paulie Malignaggi in an all-Brooklyn matchup against Gabriel Rosero. We have former world title challenger Ivan Redcatch taking on rising contender Tevin Farmer as well. And then we get to the Showtime card. And opening that telecast is the super welterweight eliminator, Tony Harrison and Sergey Rabchenko. Now, for my money, the super welterweight division is the most talented division in the sport. It is really the hottest thing in the sport. It's a division that Showtime has heavily invested in. We've been featuring them all year long, and these two young men are looking to make their mark and get up to that next level. In our co-feature, we have the return of Mikey Garcia, one of the most talented and skilled fighters in the sport. Having him back is really a treat. It's a big positive for the boxing fans and for boxing as a whole. He's refreshed, refocused, and I know he expects to be in the top 10 pound for pound again in the very near future. But, and there is a very big but, Helio Rojas is not just an opponent. He's a former world champion. He is tough, he is experienced, he is hungry, and I expect this to be an amazing fight as well. And then with Leo and Carl, we have another blockbuster Showtime main event. Champion versus champion, the best versus the best. Two of the most aggressive fighters in any division. Leo is someone that we featured for quite a while. This will be the 13th time that he's been on Showtime or Showtime pay-per-view, including once on CBS. Carl is someone that we have a new relationship with. He's appeared on both CBS and on Showtime. And there's nothing other to say about this fight than to say it will be all action. There's no other way to describe it. We had a great fight at the end of June in Thurman Quarter. I think this fight could be better. As you can tell, I'm excited. All of us at Showtime are excited, and we're proud to be involved with this card. Proudest of all, this is the best versus the best. These are all competitive matchups. No politics, no delays, no games, no weight class changes, no broken promises, no pay-per-views. This is what boxing should be. So you should be there if you can on Saturday night, and if not, watch on Showtime. You won't be disappointed.
I want to start by bringing up the lady on the card. And one of the things we've been making an effort to do with all of the Brooklyn boxing shows, the shows at Barclays Center, is to feature a female fighter. And on Saturday night, people are going to get to see really one of the best in the world. Amanda Serrano is not only the WBO featherweight champion, but pound for pound, in my view, she's one of the half dozen best female fighters in the world. So it's my honor and pleasure to bring up the WBO featherweight champion and defending her title. The first woman ever to defend her title at the Barclays Center, Amanda Serrano.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, Devella, so much for this great opportunity to be here side by side with these great fighters. I know I go home running to watch these fighters fight on TV, and I'm super honored to be sharing the ring with them this Saturday night. And I'm ready. Come Saturday night, I'm going to successfully defend my title, and I'm going to show all the critics and all the non-believers that us female fighters, that we have the talent, the courage, just like these men do, and we're here to stay, and just come support us, and it's going to be a great night. Thank you.
I'm going to start with the first fight that's going to be on Showtime Extreme. It'll start at 7 p.m. The first young man I'm going to introduce, if Rocky was a little black guy from Philadelphia, and instead of a big Italian guy, he'd be Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer started his career 7-4-1. Had no one behind him. Was known in the gyms in Philadelphia as a really good fighter, but was thrown to the wolves from his first fight. From 7-4-1, he's now 21-4-1. Holds the belt, the NABF belt, and is moving up in weight for this opportunity to fight on Showtime Extreme and show people what he can do. I think that this young man is one of the most underrated boxers fighting today. He's still in his mid-20s. He's got a lot of time ahead of him. And this fight with Ivan Redcatch is a huge opportunity. Kevin Palmer.
How everyone doing? First, I want to thank my training staff, Rasheen Jefferson, Robert Rivas, for preparing me for battle Saturday night. I want to thank Luther Bella for giving me an opportunity, and I also want to thank Showtime. Saturday night is just another opportunity to show the world who I am, type of farmer. I got about 3 years straight, no losses. I started off horrible. I took boxing, it was a hobby. I started boxing at the age of 19, I'm only 25. And I was doing it for fun. But then I realized how much talent I had, and I sat myself down. I moved to Jersey, I started eating right, I started training right, and since then it's been history. Everybody put in front of me, I beat them easy. I don't think I lost maybe one round out of 14 straight wins, and I fought some good guys, most of them was undefeated. So Saturday night, Ivan Redcatch gonna get this work, and it's gonna be easy, and it's just like that. Saturday night, I want all y'all to be there. Tell the farmer in the building. Ivan Redcatch, where you at? There you go. Hey, bro, you gonna get this work. You gonna get it. You talk a lot on social media, bro. And I'm not about to talk. A lot of people here know who I am. A lot of y'all don't. But on Saturday night, after it's all over with, they gonna say, damn, that boy tell farmer, bad boy. Thank y'all.
I promoted Ivan Redcatch for a long time. Ivan has tattoos like Miguel Cotto. He's tatted up just like Miguel Cotto. But Ivan thinks he's Mexican. And he fights like he's Mexican, which I think is a great compliment to Ivan. Because he's incredibly exciting, he makes great fights, and I think his fight with Tevin is destined to be a great fight. So I'd like to bring up Ivan Redcatch.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Спасибо, что я участвую в этой большой программе.
We want to thank you very much for participating in such a big event.
Я много поменял в этой тренировочном лагере. Я тренировался с чемпионом Левасом Крузом и очень хорошо готов к этому.
He's changed a lot of things and currently training for this particular fight. He's been sparring with other champions, so he feels like he's very ready for this.
Я не буду здесь много говорить, а вы все увидите в субботу вечером.
He won't talk anymore up here, but I'll show you guys.
We're going to go out of order now to the first fight that's going to be on Showtime. So this fight will be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And as Steven mentioned, I think the junior middle super welterweight division right now is as competitive and exciting as any division in boxing. And it's also a division that Showtime has really dedicated a lot of airtime and a lot of effort toward building up the fighters in this division and creating matchups and almost de facto putting together what's almost amounting to a tournament, because there's almost been an excellent 154-pound fight on every Showtime card that's been done that I can remember recently. And here's another one on this show. This is a sensational fight. Both of the guys are huge punchers. The first gentleman I'm going to bring up is trained by a great fighter. Ricky, you want to wave? Ricky Hatton, the great Ricky Hatton. So I'd like to bring up first a man with only one loss, with a huge knockout ratio. And it's funny, but I'm going to be saying the same thing about the guys fighting. But I'd first like to bring up Sergey Radchenko and someone if you could translate to Sergey.
Hiya. I'm first time in America. It's my big dream. I never been before in America. It's nice country. It's center in the world boxing. I try show really good fight. Thank you. Sorry, I'm worried. But it's normal.
Well, I guess that translator wasn't needed. Good job, Sergey. He's fighting a young man with tremendous power. Sergey has a terrific trainer in Ricky Hatton. Tony Harrison just changed trainers to a guy that I think is one of the best young trainers in boxing, Stephen Edwards, who's better known as Breadman. So, no further ado, knockout artist himself. What? I'm sorry, Henry. I apologize, Henry. I'm getting confused. Henry Hill. My bad. I'd like to bring up now Tony Harrison.
I'd like to thank Showtime, Lou, and everybody that's putting these fights together, Al for sure. I'm just excited to be back on the platform. I'm ready to put in work. He don't speak too much English, but I bet he speaks hands. So that's what's gonna happen Saturday night. He's a good puncher. I'm a great puncher. He has a legendary trainer behind him, Ricky Hatton. I also had one, which was the best. Rest in peace, Emmanuel Stewart. That was a guy that was in my corner, and I would do it all to get him back. Every time someone asked me a question, the question was, how do you feel about Ricky Hatton being in that guy's corner? And no disrespect to Ricky, because what you did for your country and what you're doing for him is actually amazing for the sport of boxing. But for me, I don't give a damn who's on the other side of the corner. It's actually more motivation to see Ricky on the other side. It fuels me to get that win, and that's what I'm coming to get, man. I don't want nothing but the win. I just had a son, he's 3 months old, so man, that was my new motivation. And my team is stronger than ever. My uncle, my cousin, my brother, and we all, man, we push it to the max. And mentally, I'm ready to swim with the Sharks. For me, it was just a transition from knocking everybody out in the first round. So now I'm transitioning from a sprinter to a marathon runner. So now, I wasn't so used to going those later rounds, and as you see, my first loss came from defeat, and I had 1 round left, you know what I mean, and it's been a good transition, man. I'm just ready to put Detroit back on the map, man, and anybody knows from Detroit, we about that action, so on the 30th Saturday, we coming for that action.
It sucks to get old, my memory's going, but you just mentioned Emmanuel Stewart, and Henry really is one of the guys who was mentored by Emmanuel, and one of the great trainers that's in this game right now because of being taught by Emmanuel. So my bad. Now I'm going to go out of order again, back to the main event on Showtime Extreme. The guy right here who feels like he shouldn't be the B-side, but he is, because the man he's fighting, Paulie Malignaggi's had a terrific and long career. But Gabriel Bracero had a really good year last year in his own right. Had knockout of the year against Danny O'Connor. And from Sunset Park, Brooklyn, he's looking to get that. That may not be a big piece of hardware if you're not from Brooklyn, but if you're from Brooklyn, you want that Brooklyn belt. And that's an important piece of hardware to carry the mantle of the guy in Brooklyn. And that's what Gabriel Bracero is trying to do on Saturday night. So I'd like to bring up Gabriel Bracero, who's also trained, by the way, by the colorful and legendary Tommy Gallagher.
How you doing, everybody? First, I would like to I want to thank Tommy Gallagher. This man right here is, he always stood by my side, always believed in me, no matter what the critics said, no matter how many mistakes I made in life, no matter how many times I made it look bad. He always believed in me, never gave up on me, and because of him, is the reason why I'm standing here now. I also want to thank my father, who introduced me to the sport since I was a kid, and my new trainer, Lopez, who's also on the team, who's been helping me make improvements. I'm looking forward. I also want to thank Lou DiBella, also, Paulie, for giving me this opportunity and taking this fight and Showtime. Let me tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. A couple of years ago, I started off. My career was going up good. I was 5-0 pro, 2-time Golden Glove champion. Everything was going good for me. I made a mistake in life. Hit a couple of bumps along the road. With that being said, I went away. I did a prison sentence, which kept me out of the sport for a while. While I was away, I always dreamed, boxing was always my dream, man, so I never gave it up for nothing. I worked hard, I always stayed focused, I took advantage of that time to stay in shape, to come back out here and do what I'm doing now. So I look forward to continue being a success story because not so many people are able to bounce back from situations like that. Right now, Saturday night is a big fight. I'm looking forward to it, I'm excited. Fighting for the Brooklyn belt. Paulie being a good friend of mine, we grew up in the amateurs, since we were kids. He would win the 132-pound division, I would win the 139-pound division, but now he grew up to be a little bigger and heavier than me now. But with that being said, I spoke to Paulie, we were sitting down talking, I thanked him for the opportunity. When I was away, I used to get boxing magazines on a monthly basis, and I would always read up on Paulie winning titles and his success. And it was a dream of mine and a game plan of mine to come back out here and to be able to have the same success that he had. And I looked up to him for that. But not only that, to be out here now, to be able to fight Paulie. Paulie's given me the opportunity to reach the same level of success that he's had. Not only boxing is a sport, but it's a business. So I want to be able to make that Paulie Malignaggi money. The same money he's been making, now I'm getting that opportunity. So everybody here, I encourage you guys to come out Saturday night. I know what I'm dealing with, man. I'm ready to fight my heart out. I'm ready to leave everything in the ring Saturday night. That Brooklyn belt looks beautiful, man. That right there is, I can't wait to see what it feels like to have it around my waist. There's nothing personal with Paulie. Like I say, he's a friend of mine, but this is business. So when I go in there, I'm coming for Paulie and I'm coming for that belt. Everybody, I expect you guys to look forward to fireworks come Saturday. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys there.
I promoted this next gentleman for a long time. His first fight at a minor league ballpark in Brooklyn, in Coney Island, and that was a long time ago. And I knew that he always had a big mouth, and he was his boxing intellect was always great. So it's no surprise to me that he's one of the best boxing commentators in the world today for Showtime. And actually, he got his first opportunity to call a fight on my Broadway boxing series. So we go back a long time. The Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi.
What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing good today. So I don't even really know where to start. First off, I hear young guys like Tevin Farmer coming up here and Tony Harrison, talking trash or whatnot. It reminds me of my old days where I used to go up here and act like a lunatic and start trashing everybody. and I love the enthusiasm, I really do, man. It takes me back to old days. It's one of the things that when I went down to Miami, started training with my trainer Luis Perez, the gym was full of young guys, motivated guys, just hungry to just, break through to that next level. And you start to really think back about, the times you had coming up. And that was the feeling you used to have in the gyms and in your fights and just competing and dreaming at night and hoping that you could one day reach the elite level of the sport, And it just kind of starts to rub off on you when you hang around motivated people. And sometimes these youngsters, man, they look up to the older guys as motivation, but sometimes the old guy can get a lot of motivation out of the youngsters too. And not to say that I'm old, because I think I'm using that word a little bit too loosely, but I feel like I'm a veteran of the sport, and I've been in the sport for a long time. It's funny. I'm going to take it back to last year after I lost to Danny Garcia. I was in the dressing room, and and I was actually getting stitched up. I had gotten suffered a couple of cuts in the fight, and Al Heyman came over in the locker room. And by the way, I want to thank Al Heyman for continuing to give me these opportunities. And he just kind of wanted to console me and make sure and check on me and make sure I was okay. And I was a little bit discouraged. It wasn't really a performance I was proud of. It hadn't really been a time in my career overall that had gone really well for me. So I was a bit discouraged. And I said, you know what, Al, I think this might be it, man. I don't know. It just wasn't feeling right tonight. And Al said, no, don't discourage yourself like that. Go home and think things through. But it's not over. It's over when you want it to be over. It's not over. Don't think so negatively. Keep a positive outlook and so on and so forth. And obviously I've come back with 2 straight wins. One thing I've never minded is taking a couple of steps back to get back to the top. It kind of starts to remind me about the motivation I need to have, the encouragement I need to have, build up that fire and whatnot. Sometimes when I fight too many top guys all at once, I start to feel used up, man, because these guys will really, really weigh you out, man. Whether you're beating them or not, you fight top guy after another top guy, you're a human being, man. You get worn out. So I feel like the couple steps back I took after the Garcia fight, get a couple of wins, a gradual step up, and I feel like Tito is yet another step up, from the last opponent. And he's a hungry guy. He's a motivated guy. He's not just coming with a skill set. As Tito said, we go back a long way, and so I know Tito not just for his skill set, but also for the man that he is and the motivation he brings to the table, and that he's not the kind of guy that brings any fold in his style and in his personality. He comes and he brings it to you both skill-wise and psychologically. He's not ready to fold to anybody. He's give up his dream. So because I know Tito so well, I know how hard I trained for the fight. Maybe if I'm fighting a 24-2 fighter who I've never heard of before, and I say, oh, you know what, I'm just going to train real hard, and then when I get to the ring, I'll beat him. But you know what? I know this 24-2 fighter. I know Tito Bracero. So I know not only him as a fighter and as a quality fighter that he is. We were all coming up together in the amateurs. I remember it was me, Luis Collazo, Tito, maybe 1 or 2 other guys. We were all in the same generation in New York, and we were the guys that people were really looking at to say, okay, these were the New York amateurs of this generation that are going to have a future in the professional sport of boxing. And Tito was well on his way too before he got arrested and kind of had to take that step back. You never know who you're motivating in life. I would have never known until Tito told me that when he was locked up and away that he would look at these boxing magazines and read up on my articles and the success when I was winning my world championships in the mid 2000s. Late to end of the first part of the decade, when he's reading these boxing magazines about me, you never know who you're motivating. You don't realize it. You're sitting there living your dream, but you don't realize who you're motivating. And little did I know that I was motivating an old friend of mine, and who would end up becoming a foe here for me. So yeah, it's all love, it's all respect, it's all good. But this Brooklyn belt, when I pulled it out this morning, and I haven't seen it in a while. It does look kind of shiny, it does look kind of nice, but